Welcome back, ScreenRanters. While Venom 2 isn't due out until later this year, some new information recently came to light about the film. Through leaked photos and videos online, we can see what Cletus Kasady, aka Carnage, looks like, and he looks a lot cooler than he did in his cameo for the first film. On top of that, we'll mention some rumors and what we know about Venom 2 so far, as well as some Carnage comic trivia. Finally, we'll chat about what the whole image change means for the Sony franchise as a whole, so grab your symbiote and let's whip right in.
Cooperate and you might just survive.
So 2018's Venom did pretty well, at least with the fans. The critics, they weren't too keen on the symbiote's debut. The Metacritic score is pretty poor on IMDb. With a budget of $100 million, Venom brought in a little over $850 million. It's a pretty nice chunk of change for the franchise and for Sony. So with that success, Venom was bound to get a sequel, especially when they included a certain character seen midway through the end credits. In the bonus scene in question, we see Eddie Brock, played by the delightful Tom Hardy, go to San Quentin prison. He's there to meet with a mysterious inmate who requested Brock specifically. Once the guard gives us a little violent backstory on the inmate, we see who it is. Cletus Kasady, portrayed by the also delightful Woody Harrelson. Kasady even wrote a welcome message on his cell for Brock. Cute, such a good host. The two talk for a bit, and that highlights Kasady's unhinged personality. Kasady finishes the scene with the not-so-subtle, "When I get out of here, and I will, there's gonna be carnage." He then looks all intense and insane. This Easter egg was a bit hit and miss with fans. Some were delighted by the inclusion of Carnage, and for the groundwork being laid for his proper film debut for Venom 2. Others, well, they didn't enjoy the wig. Apparently, that was a big sticking point for some. They have the opinion that the red wig looks cheap and tacky. However, most people in prison would probably care less about how they look, especially when they seem to be in isolation most of the time. So that's what we see. A guy that's not taking the best care of himself while he's locked up. On top of that, the hair also resembles what Kasady had in his comic debut. Oh, wow, that's terrifying. Why does he look like Joker without the clown theme? Yikes. At least we have something new to keep us up at night, so that's great. Anyway, because of people's reaction, Kasady's appearance has drastically changed for Venom 2. But before that, you may be scratching your head wondering what a Carnage is. Well, that's what we're here for. You're welcome. Cletus Kasady first popped up in 1991's The Amazing Spider-Man number 344. As Eddie Brock was inside Rikers Island prison, he shared his cell with Kasady and his creepy face. At this time, Brock is venomless. Kasady is locked up for slaying many people, including people in his family, like his grandmother. Shenanigans happen and Brock is reunited with the alien ooze in the cell, so he leaves prison. However, Venom leaves a little part of itself behind. Essentially, it's Venom's baby. It then bonds itself to a confused Kasady, leading to the birth of Carnage. Over the years, Carnage has been a big problem for Spider-Man and Venom. Carnage has kicked the bucket a number of times and risen again many times. Recently, Carnage became a worldwide threat during the events of Absolute Carnage. It's a story about Null, the symbiote god, but that explanation probably requires a whole other video. Give us likes to let us know if that's what you want, or click like if that's not what you want. Just please give us likes. So to sum up, Kasady really enjoys creating Carnage. Oh, like his name. Carnage has a whole host of fun powers. Well, mostly the abilities are exactly like Venom's, only they're cranked up to 11. After all, Carnage was created on Earth instead of the symbiote homeworld, Clintar. As a result, he's more powerful than Venom. Carnage has all the abilities of Venom's first human host, Spider-Man. So, super strength, speed, durability, etc. Carnage can also hide itself from Peter Parker's Spidey sense. As a result, he can attack the wall crawler without the wall crawler expecting it. Carnage can also use the symbiote to create many deadly weapons, with far more pizzazz than Venom could at the time. Carnage could turn his arms into axes and other such deadly tools and wreak havoc. He can also fire various tendrils from his body to spike foes around him. The symbiote suit also helps Kasady to heal from most wounds. As for weaknesses, it's pretty similar to Venom, although Carnage is able to resist sonic sounds more so than Venom, but fire is still not fun for Carnage. Well, that was fun. Now you have some basic knowledge on Carnage. It's nice to learn. Anyway, Venom 2 is slated to be released in October 2020. However, due to the recent events, that could be changed. Many films have had their release dates adapted, but at the moment, it's still October for Venom 2. We know very little about the flick so far. We don't yet have a trailer to pore over and overanalyze. We don't know what the plot of the film is either. This could be because Morbius is out earlier in July. Sony might be putting all their marketing and such into that release at the moment, but we do know a couple of things. Firstly, we have a new director, the king of CGI characters, Andy Serkis. He'll bring his many years of performing in CGI films like Lord of the Rings, Planet of the Apes, and Black Panther. The first film's director was Ruben Fleischer. However, due to his work on Zombieland Double Tap, he was unable to take on the sequel. In fact, that's how Woody Harrelson was brought on in the first place. The two worked together in the first Zombieland film. We also know that Tom Hardy is back as Eddie Brock. Shocker, I know. Michelle Williams also returns as Anne Weying, and maybe She-Venom. Martin Scorsese favorite, Stephen Graham, is meant to be in the film, yet we don't know what role that's for quite yet. Also, James Bond franchise thespian Naomi Harris is rumored to be portraying the character Shriek. Carnage is essentially Shriek's stud muffin. She has the abilities of sound manipulation and can tap into people's minds to bring forth their hidden darkness. Yeah, that's a very villainous power. Other rumors include Morbius vamping in to make an appearance, which makes sense since Sony are looking to create their own Spidey cinematic universe. Speaking of, the other rumor is that Tom Holland might swing in as well. After all the drama a few months ago of Spider-Man leaving the MCU and joining again, Sony might want to prepare for the future in case Marvel and Sony end their relationship once more, but Marvel might not be too keen on Parker popping up with Venom. They might prefer the Venomverse and the MCU stay separate for the time being. While we know that Carnage is in the film, many fans believe this means the sequel will be more adult than the first one, more violence and whatnot, that infamous R rating. However, Avi Arad, the producer for Sony's Marvel Universe, has stated that the Venom franchise will continue with the PG-13 rating that the first one had. Many people expected 2018's Venom to be more adult with an R rating before its release, but as we know now, that wasn't the case. Recently, Tom Hardy released an image of Woody Harrelson in costume as Cletus Kasady through Instagram. In the pic, Kasady is bathed in shadow, but we can see that he's changed from his first appearance. Gone is the curly, floppy red hair/wig. It's now much shorter. We also see Kasady wearing a ghastly red, black, and yellow Hawaiian shirt, thus hinting to his Carnage persona with that color scheme. Well, except the yellow. However, not long after the photo was released by Hardy, it was deleted. Perhaps Hardy got a telling off from Sony executives and told to remove the image. Or maybe this was all part of the plan. Give a little hint of what's to come and then take it away before the fans enjoy it too much. Then they'll be desperate for more. Sadly, that doesn't quite work as the internet exists and people screenshot everything. One of our writers has a habit of screenshotting all the text messages they receive and putting them online for the world to see. It's mostly marketing messages from Pizza Hut. It's really sad. But that shadowy image isn't the only hint of Kasady that we've seen. We see that he's sort of surrendering to what we assume is the police, but Kasady is very nonchalant about it. He's standing in front of a red sports car. The assumed police then discharge their firearms into Kasady, only he barely reacts to the hot lead. We think this scene is meant to involve the Carnage symbiote. It might pop out to protect its host from the storm of bullets. Carnage might then obliterate the poor police officers, all of which will be added in with the magic of computers. Perhaps this is why Kasady isn't bothered about the police telling him to stick his hands up. Well, either that, or Kasady had no idea that Carnage would save him and he's just insane. Could be that too, but we prefer the former. The new Kasady look is more intimidating and dapper than the 2018 version. It looked more like Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor than an unstable, unslaughtering villain. Yet by changing the hair/wig style, it ups the threat level of Kasady. The shirt is a bit of a select choice. It's very colorful. The video and the photo from Hardy both have Kasady in the same Hawaiian shirt, but if it's used as a subtle nod to Carnage's colors, then we can't argue with it too much. On the plus side, Harrelson has great form when it comes to playing serial slayers. Just watch his performance in 1994's Natural Born Killers. That moving picture even has Marvel legend Robert Downey Jr. in it. Can't go wrong there. With Harrelson's family history, it's no surprise that he's able to portray such manic characters. For those interested in Harrelson's story, check out a video we did on Dark History of Actors. Nice shameless plug there. We'll wait while you watch it. Okay, no, we won't. Just watch it after this one. Thanks, you're the best. Anyway, hopes are now high that Harrelson will be able to bring the unhinged lunatic Cletus Kasady to life. After his first mixed debut in Venom, the only way is up, really. Kasady is a prime baddie character to help establish Eddie Brock as more heroic than his villainous history in the comics, especially as Spider-Man isn't whipping about in the Venomverse. They need some kind of hero or anti-hero to make sure not everything goes bad. With Harrelson's Kasady in the baddie corner, it might be the best casting choice possible. Perhaps we'll see the Venom franchise rival the MCU, well, at least the DCEU for the time being. Once that's done, we'll see.
On second thought, please.
And that's a wrap. We're buzzing for Venom 2 now. Can't wait to see the complicated relationship between Venom and Eddie Brock again. Do you prefer Cletus Kasady's new look? Plop your thoughts below. If you haven't already, subscribe and click the tiny bell. That way, you'll be notified whenever we post new content. It's pretty nifty. Finally, thanks for joining us today. Later, Venomator.